asked to come and speak to the issues as it affects the national inland waterways, and in fact, generally, inland waterways in our country, Nigeria. Let me begin by appreciating our president, who has consistently supported us. I want to place it on record that the president has been quite supportive, very, very supportive, because we couldn't have gotten to where we are today without the express support we have received from the president, through our ministers, who have also been guiding us properly. So I want to place our gratitude on record. As we get along, we'll be able to appreciate what we've been able to do in this sector of our national economy over the years. Let me also appreciate our ministers, Sambo Jaji and Prince Adegoroye, the Minister of State, for their support and encouragement. I also will not fail to appreciate our Permanent Secretary, Dr. Mrs. Magdalene Ajani, who has also been very, very supportive. The National Inland Waterways Authority, as we are called today, came into full existence and operation in 1998. But actually, before this time, by 1957, it was a creation of the colonial government. And as a department of the Federal Ministry of Transportation, then it was called Inland Waterways Department. But following a decree number 13 of 1997, now an act of the National Assembly, Cap N47 of the Federation of Nigeria, 2004, the authority now is called National Inland Waterways Authority, and we commenced operation in January of 1998. For us, we have a statutory provision of what is expected of us to do, and that is to improve and develop the inland waterways for navigation, provide regulation for inland waterways navigation, ensure development of infrastructural facilities for a national inland waterways connectivity with the economic centers using the river ports as nodal points for intermodal exchanges. We also have a vision we have set out for ourselves. We also have a mission. For our vision is to make Nigeria the leader in inland waterways transportation development and management in Africa, while for our mission is to provide regulatory, economical, and operational leadership in the nation's inland waterway system and develop infrastructural facilities for efficient intermodal transportation system in line with global best practices that is safe, seamless, and sustainable. We have two clear objectives, and that is to provide alternative modes of transportation for the evacuation of economic goods and persons. Two, to execute the objectives of national transport policy as they concern inland waterways. Then, not too long ago, a strategic plan, the medium-term national development plan for 2021 to 2025 was developed. And the essence of that is to enhance safety and security on the inland waterways, whilst in providing integration with other modes of transportation and creating the enabling environment to attract private sector participation in the subsector. It continues with creating the enabling environment for private sector participation in the development of the inland waterways, protect the inland waterways environment, efficient ports and jetties operations, enhance professionalism and competence in inland waterways management. We're also so much involved in dredging activities on River Niger. But in looking at what we are expected to do, we have developed strategies for improving the navigability of prioritized inland waterways channels. Somebody will ask, why prioritize? The truth is that no country in the world has all the resources they require to navigate, to clear and open all channels in their country. No country in the world. And Nigeria is not an exception. So what we do in this instance is to prioritize these channels, look at the ones that has greater economic benefit, and then we lay emphasis on them. Let me also mention that Nigeria as a country today, we are blessed by God because we have over 10,000 kilometers of inland waterways in Nigeria. Today, we've been able to open for all year-round navigation over 3,800 kilometers. So it's a work in progress because you can access 28 states of our country by water out of the 36. Once we are able to achieve 100%, which we are working towards, and with the support we have consistently received from government, the resources that have always been made available, we are consistently doing this with a view to achieving a target we have set for ourselves, and that is being able to achieve 100% increase of what we have today in the shortest possible time. So the strategies we have adopted include provision of ports and jetties And at terminal facilities, we have also developed partnership with private sector on the channel management. Not too long ago, we signed an MOU with a company on issue of channel management in line with international best practice. It's a foreign company that we have reached that level of understanding with. We have also gone ahead with acquisition of dredgers for maintenance dredging, for in-house maintenance of routes and channels to cut costs for government, because we believe that we have the expertise, we have the people who know it, and what we need to do is provide them the equipment, and government has been enabling us provide this equipment so that we can do these things in-house. If we're able to do them in-house, we'll cut costs, we're able to control our resources and be able to determine and then achieve our prioritized objectives. We also do river training works to deepen navigational channels. We do regular hydrographic surveys of waterways in the prioritized channels for safe navigation. Wreck removal, this is one area that is of great concern, because if you keep opening up channels and you don't manage it properly, you have wrecks developing there, and the only way you can sustain the viability of such channels is to make sure that wrecks are removed. So we have consultants, we engage them on a regular basis to remove wrecks from the inland waterways through no cure, no pay model. And somebody will ask, what is no cure, no pay? That means we don't pay you any money, we get you, the consultant, you bring out the wreck. After survey, we identify the wreck is valued, the wreck is sold, because the wreck can be sold. We still sell back these wrecks. It's not that we remove them to throw them away. We remove these wrecks, we sell them, and then from the process of the sale, a percentage goes to the consultant who secured this wreck, and then the balance goes to government. That is why we call it no cure, no pay model. Apart from that, we also, as an agency, we do internal wreck removal, which we do as an agency. We also supply an installation of navigational aids in all the dredged routes, the priority routes this time. We try to put navigational aids to aid navigation in those areas. We also have provision for river guide to enable safe navigation within the inland waterways. Furthermore, there's improvement of inland waterways fleet capacity, such as tugboats, passenger ferries, houseboats, patrol boats, barges, ambulances, etc. We get through with these things on a regular basis. You find us undergoing procurement processes to be able to provide these vessels. Not too long ago, in fact, early this month, the Honorable Minister of Transportation was in Port Harcourt in our area office to commission 3 of our patrol boats. And again, we have established search and rescue coordination centers within the inland waterways to promptly respond to emergency situations. Then another aspect is enforcement of navigational laws, then to improve the capacity of Niwa police and other security agencies to provide security along the inland waterways. To collaborate with other security agencies in the provision of safety on the waterways, we have a robust capacity development for officers, training and certification of boat captains, hydrological data collection for hydraulic structures and flood sensitization, interfacing with the private sector on development of inland waterways infrastructure, ports, jetties, ramps, channel management, etc. There are organizations, both local and international, that we are talking with that have shown interest in investing massively in the inland waterway sector by way of helping us with procuring additional jetties, additional vessels that they want to bring to our country for us to put them to active use. Next slide. If you look at this slide, you'll find out we are doing shore protection works. What you have on the extreme left there is shore protection work that is going on at Lokoja Riverport as we speak. We have concluded the first phase, the second phase is on. Then on the right is our patrol boats, some of the patrol boats we have procured, which we have deployed. Okay, this other one is when I went on inspection to look at the laying of buoys that is going on. So with us in the vessel. Then on the left, that is one of the jetties we recently concluded. There, before this time, before the coming of this administration, what you had there was a wooden jetty in Warri. It was a wooden jetty, but now we have a concrete modern jetty in Warri. Then the next slide, you find Onitsha Riverport in Anambra State. Then that's it on the left, and then the right is Baro. these are two world-class ports by every standard of imagination with world-class equipment completed by the federal government. Let me also place on record that we have been able, under this administration, to concession Onitsha Riverport. Onitsha Port, Riverport is now fully concessioned to a company called LEC Consortium. They've taken over the port. They are partnering with the Port of Antwerp. They are their technical partners. As we speak now, the Port of Antwerp management is in Onitsha, managing that port. And the beautiful thing about this port is that by the time it gets into full operation, there is no way you can talk about having over 2,000 direct and indirect jobs created from that port alone, because it's a port that is strategically located in the commercial center of the southeast, which is Onitsha. But for Barrow Riverport, also completed under this administration, wonderful port with all the necessary equipment. What we are doing now is opening up the channel. And then the only challenge we had there, which is government has drastically addressed now, was the issue of road to Barrow, road infrastructure. But government is already addressing that because federal government has made a commitment and the contractor is already on site to get that place open. Then this channel, this slide. The beautiful thing about this slide now that we're showing you is that ordinarily, nobody will want to talk about Lake Chad. But as we speak now, survey work is going on in Lake Chad axis. What that goes to say is that, one, the issue of insecurity has been sufficiently addressed. Because ordinarily, if there was that insecurity that is being painted in Lake Chad, I don't think our surveyors will be in Lake Chad. We are collaborating with the Nigerian Navy, and the survey work is going on now as we speak. The hydrographic survey of Lake Chad waterways. And you see, the beautiful thing about Lake Chad waterways, that once we are able to open these waterways, it's an international route that will take us outside this country. It opens up our nation to about 5 countries from the Lake Chad. Then the next one is, when we talk about maintenance dredging, okay, can you go back to that slide? This is Port Harcourt. Maintenance dredging is going on in Port Harcourt as we speak. We're also doing maintenance dredging somewhere in Lagos. And we're also doing maintenance dredging in Warri, even Onitsha, because we are trying to clear the waterways in Onitsha so that the port can be fully and effectively utilized. Then let's look at what have we been able to do as an organization in very concrete terms between 2015 and to date. So what I have done here is we just picked a few of them because we have a booklet which I'll make available to the committee later of what we have done, everything in detail. But what we have done now is to select a few of them and then put them down. Between 2015 and 2016, we did shore protection works at Marine Base Waterfront in Saba, in Delta State, and Ndoni Waterfront in Rivers. We also did maintenance dredging within River Niger in Kelebe in Kogi State and Omaisha Waterfront River Benue in Nasarawa State. We did maintenance dredging of River Non, the navigational channel at Angoloma, Sabama Crossing in River State. We also installed automatic gauge and discharge measurement on River Niger at Onitsha in Anambra State. We charted the river crossing at Nuritu Creek, Elechi Creek, Amadi Creek, and Choba River. All these are in River State. We also did the extension of jetty landing platform and construction of shoreline protection works at the reinforced concrete jetty in Ogurugu in Enugu State. There's interfacing with the private sector on the development of inland waterways infrastructure. There are 2 companies that we have spoken to, and they are so committed to help us in developing our ports. Let me also say that we have now, as we speak, received unsolicited proposals from corporate organizations, both foreign and local, who are willing to complete the Lokoja River Port and complete the Oguta River Port. So we are discussing with them. By the time, I'm sure in a short while, we'll be able to conclude, and then they will get to work. Because the fear usually foreign investors have with regards to investing in things like this is that concessioning of ports has always been like story. But under this administration, it has been successfully done. That's why we take Onitsha River Port concession as our poster boy in marketing other ports that other people can get involved. For 2017-2018, we took the construction of ferry landing platforms at Yauri, Kawara, Zamere, Gebi, but all in Kebbi State. We have done river training works by dredging option from Barrow to Onitsha, through Ilushi to Ela to Onitsha section. We have also done the Baja jetty at Ajokuta. We also did a river, Umaku, in Isialangwa, Abia State, for deepening of navigational channels. We did some dredging there. Then we have installed anchorage on River Niger to improve the bathing facility at Lokoja jetty. We have also provided geoinformatics equipment for hydrographic surveys of navigational channels. Then if you look at charting, we have done quite a lot of work. Survey charting of river crossing at Jeba, Itobe, Budan, Oyendega, Agwagwa, Ayipa, Kainji, Otoye, Ida, Lokoja, USC Wharf, Ota, Ogudu, Sek 2, Dakata, Bele, Raba, Muregi, upstream Bogu, Ghana. Okay. So, just to mention some of the areas we have done serious dredging works. We charted them, and with the chart we have received, then it guides us in determining where we can dredge. Then we have also done maintenance dredging at Ajokuta, Gabion, and Renos mattresses at the downstream of Barrow Inland Riverport, and Umuaku, Mvosi in Abia State. We have provided floating jetties at Lekki Phase 1 and the Woroshoki. If you remember when they were repairing the third mainland bridge, there became a very strong need for us to provide alternative means of transport. So we provided floating jetties, which was serving Lekki Phase 1 and then Woroshoki. We have done buoying of River Niger from Barrow to Lokoja, Lokoja to Onitsha, Onitsha to Warri. Somebody will ask, what is buoying? Buoying is, because not everybody knows it, buoying is laying of navigational aids and guide on river channels, because there are massive equipments that we drop, floating equipments that we drop as a guide to guide vessels so that they don't run into either wreck or run aground, or depending on the depth of the channels. Then for 2019-2020, we have done an improvement of bathing facilities at Lokoja Dockyard. I showed you something we were doing at Lokoja Dockyard in the previous slide. Then we have digitalized the National Inland Waterways Authority operations. We're digitalizing all our operations. We have constructed a new jetty at Lamai Wukmin in Ogun State. We have also constructed a jetty at Odekwe, Baru, local government of Anambra State. Not only did we put a jetty there, we also put a warehouse there. We have constructed a jetty at Yenegua in Bayelsa State. We have constructed a boat terminal at Bakin Kogi and Wuruboki in Adamawa State. We have procured cargo handling equipment for the Lokoja Riverport. If you look at the slide, you see the mobile harbor crane. The one, this type we have at Barrow Riverport, we have them now in our office in Lokoja because they have all been delivered by those who were privileged to win the contract to procure them. They've brought them, we have them with us, and then we will soon install them the moment we are able to conclude the Lokoja Riverport. Then we have made provision of electronic register for inland water vessels. All our assets and infrastructure, inland waterways, right-of-ways, we are all having them now in our electronic register. Then one thing that is very key, which we have done, is the prompt prosecution of defaulters of Inland Waterways Transport Code, with a view to ensuring deterrent to others. Our people need to be made to obey the rules. Once we get them to obey the rules, some of the accidents you have or mishaps happening once in a while will not be there. We have done a successfully test run of movement of cargo between Onei, River State, and Onitsha. There was an argument, it's not possible, don't try it, the draft is not. We said, no, let's try it first. Unfortunately, we got flat bottom badges, and they moved consignment from Onei to Onitsha successfully. What we are doing now is we are trying to conclude the arrangements to move cargo from Onitsha, from Lagos to Onitsha. Because once we are able to do this, others will buy into it. I've spoken to the chambers of commerce, I've engaged them, Import Association, I've engaged them. But this attitude of let's wait, let government do it first. If government succeeds, then we can follow. That is what is holding commercializing that operations. Because one, it is cheaper, it is safer, it is more reliable. And most importantly, it will save our road infrastructure. Now, We have also done the charting of the 12-kilometer distance from the confluence of River Niger to Gurara River. We have also done charting and buoying of waterways from Marina to Ikorodu and then Marina to Badagry. Not only have we charted them, we have already buoyed them. And for 2021 to 2022, we've constructed a new jetty at Ila in Delta State. We reconstructed and rehabilitated the Warri wooden jetty, which I showed you, and now to a concrete jetty. We have also done construction of the 40, 30 will not wear life jacket. They will tell you it's just there, we are going, just there, just there. Then the efforts we are making in improving security within the nation's waterways in collaboration with the Nigerian Navy. The Navy has been quite supportive. We have collaborated in a lot of instances, and they have been there to encourage us. Once we have any need, even in training and what have you, they're always there for us. So it's important that we appreciate them for what they have done. We have also encouraged our local communities through sensitization for this community policing. We encourage them to be part of it, because we have teams that go around from area office to area office to talk to the communities that we operate in, to encourage them, because you cannot successfully check insecurity, bunkering, or banditry, whatever it is, without getting the buy-in of the local community. So we keep encouraging them, we keep talking with them, and getting involved through our programs by way of addressing some of the challenges. There are some cases where we have been involved in building community halls. There are some instances we provide palliatives, but to make sure that they see us as partners in progress. And it's been working. Then for us in Niwa, for us to enhance security in the waterways, irrespective of the efforts made to improve safety and security within the nation's waterways, the authority is looking into introducing more technology in securing the waterways in the following areas. We have high-level discussion, which is still ongoing, with telecommunication companies to provide services across the length and breadth of the nation's inland waterways. This will greatly improve the provision of security and safety within the waterways. We are automating most of our security network so that we can monitor activities and to provide effective response to security challenges across our waterways. We're partnering with a South African company to help us in concluding this. Then we're working towards providing lighthouses along the waterways to guide ships or to warn them of any perceived danger. Then provision of light armored patrol boats to protect our police command from attacks during operation. Once in a while, you have resistance. Next slide. This is the boys. When I say we are providing boys, this is the boys, these are guides. You find them on routes. You can see red, you can see green, you can see blue. But the unique thing about them is that in the night, there's light on top of the buoys, so that wherever you're coming from, wherever you're operating from, you'll be able to see them. However, what we have done as one of our policies is that vessels don't operate from any Niwa recognized jetty once it is 6:30 p.m. Because statistics have shown that 95% of the accidents that have happened on the waterways either happen late in the night or early in the hours of the morning. So we don't allow vessels to take off from any jetty once it is 6:30 a.m. Once it is 6:30 p.m. And then you don't take off unless it is 6 a.m. in the morning, so that you can see, because most of the vessels you have don't have night navigational aids. Because vessels that operate in the night are designed to operate in the night. But since most of them don't have it, and since accidents are prone to occur at that time, we stop them from operating during those times, except from vessels we have certified as having night navigational aids, and they are licensed to operate all day round. Other things we are doing is generation, protection, and sharing of data with security agencies to aid criminal investigation and security planning in illegal oil bunkering and piracy. Systematic boat registration scheme, not only for standardization of boats, but also for the promotion of security. Because the moment boat owners know that their boats are registered by Niwa and licensed, the likelihood of allowing such boats to be used for illegal activity will not be there, because you'll be caught. So because of those registrations, they try to avoid getting involved in such illegal activities. Provision of more personnel to the Niwa Police Command. The Nigeria Police has been quite supportive, though we've asked for additional personnel to help us for effective coverage of the vast waterway network. Like I did say, we have a massive waterway network. And as we continue with our maintenance, dredging, and opening up of channels, the need for more monitoring will also be there. Then we are collaborating with neighboring countries to secure boundary locations along waterways, to avoid a situation where somebody will commit a crime here and cross over to the next country. So there's this collaboration going on, and we're talking with the agencies in those countries. We're relating with them so that they will understand our operational codes, and we also understand theirs, so that we can work together with a view to creating the enabling environment for the business to grow. Then there are key policy initiatives which we have adopted in Niwa. Some of them include a proposed amendment bill of the Authorities Enabling Act to empower the authority to better meet its mandate. We realized that the bill as it is today does not really provide us the needed authority for us to be able to actualize in full detail our mandate. And I'm happy to say that the National Assembly is giving it attention. Then development and concession of inland river ports. This is a PPP initiative that will ensure a private sector participation in the management of authorities' ports, with government playing the role of regulator. We don't want to manage the ports. We want to regulate activities in the ports. Then maintenance, dredging, and river training works of the waterways for all year-round navigation. Provision of formidable security mechanism for the inland waterways through the Inland Waterways Police and other joint collaborations. Adoption of the e-government platform to enhance documentation efficiency, instill accuracy and transparency in our transactions, as well as block possible leakages of authorities' revenue, and to ensure the ease of doing business. Like I said, these are policy initiatives, but now we have strategic initiatives we're also getting involved in. Measures to improve the inland waterway transportation system in Nigeria. One is the expansion of infrastructure. More ports and jetties are being constructed around the country, and linkages between the water transportation sector and other forms of transportation are being promoted. As we speak, we have procurement process going on for new jetties in different locations spread across the country. Then purchase of modern river crafts. In order to bridge the gap of providing adequate and modern river crafts to ply the waterways, the authority has continuously engaged the purchase of crafting of modern river crafts to fill up the vacuum in the inland waterways transport sector. Like I did say, when the Honorable Minister visited our office in Port Harcourt, he also had the opportunity to inspect our tugboats, our houseboats, and so some other ferries and vessels. As we speak now, procurement process is still going on for some other passenger vessels and ferries. And during our recent trip, we engaged some organizations that are interested in bringing ferries to Nigeria to operate within our inland waterways. And by the time we're able to conclude, that will also help us to a very great extent. The recruitment of technical staff. In our bid to make the water transport sector perform optimally, the authority has engaged and is currently engaging more technical staff into its fold to ensure optimal service delivery. In fact, before we came here today, we were toying with the idea of sending one or two of our staff out of the country to go to the Hydrographic Institute to study to develop their skill. Because I just mentioned that we have procured brand new hydrographic survey vessels. 2 of them have arrived. Yes, we have people to man it, but we're looking at a situation where we have more people who know the job, so that in case, because certainly those who are operating it today will retire. And when they retire, we don't want them to go completely with their knowledge. We want them to train other people. The strengthening of Inland Waterway Police Command. Provision of security patrol boats is currently being prioritized as more of the boats are purchased annually. Enlightenment of communities along the waterways on the dangers of engaging in illegal bunkering is also being employed. Niwa Act, like I said, the bill is before the National Assembly, which if passed will enhance and increase our revenue generation of the authority and ultimately enhance the capacity of Niwa to deliver on its mandate. Manual and mechanical clearing of water hyacinth has been employed. More weed harvesters are purchased for utilization around the country. This is one issue that is like an annual ritual. You can clear all the water hyacinth you have in Nigeria this season. By next rainy season, they say it comes from overseas. by next rainy season, you still have water hyacinth. So we have vessels, water hyacinth harvesters that we have. We are procuring more because we are doing that both manually and also technically. The port functioning at optimal capacity. A day-to-day running of the affairs of the ports by private sector would attract the desired expertise needed to transform the inland waterways transport sector and enhance its contribution to the growth and development of the nation. Like I just mentioned about the Onitsha Riverport, their technical partner is the Port of Antwerp. Their technical partner is the Port of Antwerp. As we talk now, in Onitsha, they have the staff of Port of Antwerp who are on ground, who are managing the port. So in concluding this presentation, let me once again place on record our sincere gratitude to Mr. President and the Federal Executive Council for all the support we have received. We couldn't have done this much we have done. Like I said, this is not all we have done. We tried to abridge it, realizing that we are limited by time. But I will make available a comprehensive list of all that Niwa has done, at least within the period that I have been in charge, since 2019, so that you'll be able to now have a clearer look at what we have done. So I must thank Mr. President for the support we have received. I also want to thank our ministers for the support, thank the ministry generally, because we can't do this on our own. So once again, I thank you for this opportunity, and God bless us.